Hey guys, what's up? Just back with another video. So today I want to talk a little bit about this recent controversy with the whole Million Man March and the No Space for Hate side, the left versus the right, another battle between the two sides. Now, a lot of people on the leave our kids alone, the conservative side of things are kind of questioning where Pierre Poilievre has been on this issue. Now, recently he did make a statement about that where he just said, hey, listen, I don't know enough about it. But that's not good enough because you, as the conservative leader, these people are looking for you to contribute and have an opinion and do your research on this and then let people know how you feel. Now, he also then, to be fair to him, said that he does agree with and acknowledged with parental rights. So it's like, okay, they gave him a little bit, but not really enough. And the reason I think this happens is because Pierre Poilievre is probably very nervous about touching on social issues because Canada socially is a very liberal country. And he's gained so much steam with all the question periods and how badly he's been hammering Trudeau. He doesn't want to lose any of his momentum. So I definitely understand him taking his time and wanting to really do some research first. But this is something that he should have been on a while ago, and he should have been kind of more on the ball in this. So it's good that he acknowledged the parental rights, but he should have done more research. This whole I don't know enough about it at this stage is not good enough for his supporters. So, and that's understandable. What's interesting about this is there's a lot of people. I see a lot of people even on my Facebook list who put this no space for hate picture up in their profile, or they posted it on a Facebook post, and it's like, okay, good, you have no space for hate. I appreciate that. I don't like hate either. But a lot of these people on the left, these no space for hate people, are absolute hypocrites. No space for hate? Okay, ask them how they feel about Donald Trump, or Andrew and Tristan Tate, or even Joe Rogan. And all of a sudden, they'll start talking about how much they hate these people. It's like, oh, okay, so you have a lot of room for hate, actually. And the way they justify it is they'll call them, Tate is a this or whatever, the R word, and Trump's a Nazi, and Joe Rogan's a conspiracy theorist. They'll just justify their bullshit hate by saying things about people that aren't even true. Well, I'm just, I said I have no room for hate, but of course I hate a Nazi. So they're justifying their own hypocrisy by just name-calling, childish liberal shit as usual. And then, but they're not even true. Like, the names that they're calling them, they're not even accurate. But that's how they justify their hypocrisy. Well, of course I have no space for hate, but of course I hate a Nazi. Of course I hate someone who's spreading dangerous misinformation. It's all garbage. They have plenty of space in their heart for hate. Plenty of them. And if you tell a liberal that and they don't believe you, again, ask them how they feel about Donald Trump, the Tate brothers, Rogan, Jordan Peterson. The list goes on. I mean, it's crazy how these people really actually believe themselves when they say they have no space for hate. They just want to pat themselves on the back because they have a good liberal social ideology. Not to mention, a lot of these parents who are saying, leave our kids alone, they don't want to stop people from, most of them don't want to stop, homosexuals from getting married or being together, or if you're an adult, you want to transition, go ahead. That's not hate, it's just they're saying, why are you pushing this on kids? Bill Maher was talking about this recently, where he was saying that in some suburb or some region in California, a lot of the kids there are starting to kind of transition. I think the rate was like 20%. Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong, but 20%, that's way more than the average. And you can argue that it's because they're pushing this on these kids, and the kids are very manipulative. They're easy to kind of, monkey see, monkey do. Well, if they're doing it, I want to do it. That's how kids are. So, and again, I have no issue with people who are gay or trans or bi or whatever. I don't care. As long as you're not hurting anyone, I don't care. When it comes to For example, teachers wanting to have our little secret with children. Oh, you can come out to me. We won't tell your parents. That crosses the line. They're not your kids. They're the parents' kids. And I'm not saying the parents should necessarily write the curriculum, but they should be working together with these teachers and come together with a curriculum that people agree with. The kids, when they go to school, math, science, English, phys ed, etc., yeah, that's what kids go to school for. All the things I got in trouble when I was a kid for not going to school to learn these things, I used to skip school all the time, and my mom and my dad used to get very mad at me, rightfully so. I get it. But I was skipping school and missing out on important lessons. You can see my English isn't even that good. I stutter all the time. I still say too much. Probably should have went to English class a little bit more. But that being said, you go to school as a kid to learn important things. I'm not saying the LGBTQ plus community is not important. I'm just saying these kids need to develop skills so that they can go and get a decent job. And having a drag queen read to these people or read to these kids at school, especially some of the literature that I've heard in the States, I don't even want to repeat what I've heard. I'm sure you guys have all seen that video of John Kennedy reading some quotes, and one of those books was actually in schools. It was essentially like reading a pornography transcript to 7, 8, 9-year-old kids. I mean, that's not right. I would be furious if my kids said, "Hey, Dad, can you read me this book?" And it's just reading a pornography transcript, basically. Like, that's not... I can understand people not being okay with that. It does not mean they hate people of that community. Some people have gone too far with, stomping on the pride flag and throwing it in the garbage. I don't like that shit either. My whole message about this is live your life however you want to live it. If you're not hurting anybody, do what you want. Some of these people and what they're doing to kids, keeping a secret from their parents or essentially taking hormones when they're 10, 11, 12 years old or maybe even younger, that hurts people. Okay, I'm 30 years old or 35 years old now, but when I was 30, I recognized that I had very low testosterone. And I would go to my doctor, who told me that if I were to take testosterone, I'd have a higher chance of having a heart attack, not able to have kids. I went to a urologist, he told me the same thing. And then I went to a naturopath doctor who was saying, no, this is not correct. Then I watched an episode of Joe Rogan, the conspiracy theorist, remember, and he had a couple of doctors on his show who were talking about the benefits of testosterone in mental health. Then I found a doctor who was not a mental health expert, but a testosterone expert. And he started putting me on testosterone. And he also told me that everything that my other doctor told me was nonsense. And not only was it not true, the opposite was true. You have a way higher chance of having a heart attack if your testosterone levels aren't optimal. So if you take, say, a 10-year-old girl and you start pumping her with testosterone, she's going to have way too much testosterone in her body. That gives her a higher chance of having a heart attack, because you can't just have, if you're too low, you have a chance of having a heart attack. If you're too high, you have a chance of having a heart attack. But if you're right in that sweet spot, in that nice optimal range, as an adult, that's what you need. As an adult male, that's what you need. But giving, even, I have concerns even with, a 25-year-old female taking testosterone, because I don't know how much they're giving them, what's their levels. Because if they're putting them on the same level of testosterone that I am, they essentially have 15 times the level of testosterone in their body that they need, and that hurts people. So that part I don't really like too much with the whole hormone thing, but if you're an adult, you can do what you want. When you're a child, no, man, you got to leave the kids alone at that point. And so I do kind of agree with that movement, that they are kind of pushing it. I do not have any hate for these people. I have people in my family who are part of this community. No hate. I'm going to see them next weekend for Thanksgiving. Love all of them. Do what they want. Are you happy? Yep, I am. Good. Then keep doing what you're doing. Right? I have zero issue with it. Now, if you have a 10-year-old, 11-year-old, and they're taking hormones, and all of a sudden they're 20, and they've done irreversible damage, and they're not happy and they're hurting, then we have a big problem. Doesn't mean we hate that community. We just want what's best for everyone. Just because the left and the right disagree with each other doesn't mean one side is evil and one side is good. There's evil on both sides and there's good on both sides. So again, we just have to work together. Stop being, even though it's a touchy and emotional subject, it's a controversial subject, we just have to do a lot better with understanding each other, having conversations so that we can really start to progress, instead of one side screaming over here and then the other side screaming over here, and no one's really talking. They're just chanting slogans. I've seen some of the footage from these parades, or the protests rather. There's the protests, there's the counter protests, and it's okay, you can protest for what you like, I have no problem with that, but we also need to sit down and talk as well. So have someone to be a mediator, someone in the middle, someone like me, to kind of say, yes, you have a good point over here, but hey, let's not do this, and yes, you have a good point, but let's not do this. Let's calm down, let's come together, and let's figure something out so we can actually have a solution for a change. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. Definitely know what you think. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I know it's a bit of a touchy subject, but as long as we keep it respectful, everything's going to be fine. Shouldn't have an issue with getting videos banned when we're specifically saying we don't hate anybody. So, and I mean it. I don't have any hate, even for people I don't necessarily like Joe Biden. I don't hate Joe Biden. I don't want him to die or anything like that. I don't want Justin Trudeau to get assassinated. He had some problems in India last week, I guess it was, and I didn't want anything to happen to him. I don't like him, but I don't want him to die. I don't like what a lot of things are doing, but I want solutions to be created, right? So, again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I really look forward to reading and responding to those. And like usual, I'll be back shortly with another video.